So as you all can see, I'm rocking the Queen and Slim t-shirt that I got from my early screening. And I'm going to let you know by the end of this review if this is a must-see movie of 2019. We're going to talk about that and much more.
Thank you for this journey, no matter how it ends.
Queen and Slim was directed by Melina Matsoukas and stars Daniel Kaluuya and Jodie Turner-Smith. A couple's first date takes an unexpected turn when a police officer pulls them over. Hey everybody, Elliot back again with another movie review, and this time I'm talking about my early screening of Queen and Slim, which hits theaters this Friday, November 27th. I'm going to give you my scores in this video and let you know if it's something worth watching when it comes to your local theater. But before we dive into this review, definitely consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of my TV reviews, movie reviews, and everything in between. And if and when you get a chance to see this movie, I gotta know your pros, your cons, what you thought of that ending. Let's have some discussions in the comments below. This is a spoiler-free review, just to let you know. So we're gonna dive into the positives here, but before we go into that, this was a film I was very excited for. When I saw the trailer 3 or 4 months ago and saw who was in it, saw the vibe, saw the tone, very excited, and we're gonna start off with some of these positives here. So literally seconds within this movie, and not to give too much away, but literally the first scene is their first date. I love how the film just goes right into the story and it goes right into everything that happens. But literally within seconds, I fell in love with these characters. Like literally the chemistry on screen, I would argue by the end of this movie, this is some of the best chemistry I've seen all year, whether it be TV, movies. The chemistry between Daniel and Jodie is off the charts in my opinion. From their awkward first date, from the very last scene, I was invested in these characters, and these actors gave everything they had to create these characters and convey their different personalities, their arc, their complex backstories. I thought the performances were, bar none, some of the best I've seen all year. You see these characters' arc from them, their awkward first date, them fighting, them disagreeing, them learning to know one another, them being able to share a common incident, a tragic incident that happens very early on in the film. They're able to bond over that, as well as eventually find love within all this tragedy and chaos that's going around them. So I'm going to actually talk on the performances here. So I'm going to start off with my boy Daniel Kaluuya, who, since I've seen him years ago on Black Mirror, to seeing him in Get Out, Black Panther, Widows, and everything in between, this man is one of the best actors in Hollywood, bar none, in my opinion. He's like a young Denzel, and not taking anything away from Daniel, comparing him to someone like Denzel, who I think is one of the best actors working in Hollywood and of all time. But Denzel, the reason I say that is because Denzel and Daniel Kaluuya reminds me of this, has this presence to him. And Daniel Kaluuya's presence on everything I've seen him in, no matter what the subject matter is, he has this cool, calm, and collective easiness about his character and this charisma at the same time that just has you just fall in love with this character, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. I think Daniel Kaluuya is such a great actor, and in this movie, he goes from, he has his beliefs at the beginning of the film, he has his thought process, and is very scared and very nervous of what's to come next. But as the film progresses and he gets this kind of energy and this positivity from Jodie's character, he becomes someone else by the end of the movie. And I just love watching that arc, and I thought that he was phenomenal. But I say all these good things about Daniel Kaluuya, who I think is one of the best in Hollywood. Jodie stole the movie for me. And this is my first time seeing Jodie Turner-Smith in anything. I know she's been in movies and shows, but this is my first time being exposed to her. I cannot wait to see her again in more and more TV shows, more movies, because she is phenomenal in this movie. And again, her chemistry is great with Daniel Kaluuya, but she has her own stuff going on in this movie. And just like Daniel, she goes from A to Z, and you're watching this character be kind of hardened and be kind of closed off and keeping things to herself. But as the film goes through and they have these different crazy things going on, you learn more about her backstory. You learn more about her relationship with her family and things that she went through in the past and who she is today and how it shapes her today and how she could just do certain things in this film. I thought that Jodie stole every scene that she was in with the great co-star Daniel Kaluuya, but she was just so great in this movie. And again, this is someone that I haven't seen much of, but I am so excited to see her career continue to grow because she is phenomenal. And their chemistry, man, I'm telling you, some of the best I've seen all year. Got to talk about the director, Melina, who I've never seen much of. Well, this is her first directorial debut, but she is very well known in music videos, like some of the best music videos of all time. She's dabbled in TV and Insecure and Masters of None. And this is her directorial debut. I put her up there with the Bradley Coopers of the world who directed, A Star is Born and Jordan Peele a couple years from Get Out. This is a hell of a directorial debut. She had a story to tell. She had something that she wanted to convey to the audience, and I think she executed that pretty perfectly with some issues, which we'll talk a little bit about later, but I thought that she did a great job of kind of introducing us to these characters and the situation and the subject matter and kind of mixing in a Bonnie and Clyde road trip with a little bit of Thelma and Louise, in my opinion, but she had her own things to say, and this movie spoke to me, being a black man in America. I think everyone, no matter what your gender is, your ethnicity, I think you're going to find something from this film and pull it out and relate it to your day-to-day life. But again, as an African American, this is for the culture. I thought she did a good job of conveying, what black men, black women, people of color kind of go through in today's society, especially when it comes to the police force, which is a very unfortunate thing, but it's the truth. And I thought this film told the truth in a matter that conveyed it, in a really good amount of time. So I thought she was great, and I thought that the writer of this film, Lena, who I know from seeing her in Master from None, seeing her write things like The Shy, she did a good job of writing this script and having some really good dialogue. And I thought their combination of the directing and the writing and the visuals and the score of this film was pretty dope. The soundtrack was really fire in my opinion. I really enjoyed the soundtrack of this film. But again, from the acting to the writing, the direction was really solid. And then transitions to my last things are the positives. Not touching too much on the story without giving too much away, but there's a lot of stuff in this film, a lot of layers to this movie. There's a subject matter, again, a very important subject matter with the, African-American community and how they're viewed in the police officer's eyes and how we've had these tragedies, for literally years and years and years, but it seems like it's been heightened more with social media and news presence and all that stuff. But this movie, shows how an incident like that can affect not only a community, but a nation. And I thought that the filmmaker did a good job of conveying that, from protesting and how, you have the youth, how they look at the situation, and how the older people look at the situation, and everyone that we're interacting with, our two characters interact with in this film, they have their thoughts on what happened and how they see the situation and how they perceive it and how they want them to either turn themselves in or continue to go on a run. I really enjoyed that complexity from the different characters that we got throughout the movie in this film. So, there's a lot of layers, a lot of conversations that's going to be had about this film, and I think it warrants that. And again, I'm going to say this isn't a film for everyone, because again, some people have their stance on police, the police force and how it treats others in the community, and some people are on a different side of the fence. So this isn't a film for everyone, but I think if you come in with an open mind, you're going to pull something out of this movie. So transitioning to my criticisms, I mentioned them before. There's a little bit of pacing issues, a little bit with Melina's first time directing. I thought that there could have been some scenes taken out of the movie, but minor criticism. There are definitely moments I thought were kind of questionable from the character standpoint as far as decisions they made. Another little minor thing. My major issue with the film was the inconsistency in the shift in tones. We would have a scene that's very serious, very complex, very tragic, and the very next scene was like a comedic moment. We would, there's some very interesting supporting cast members that I really enjoyed from this movie, but I felt like 90% of the cast members that were supporting were like used as comic relief, which I'm going to see this film again, and maybe by the time I see it the second time, I can know what to expect. But I thought of a film like that had a very similar subject matter, like The Hate U Give, which I thought did a better job of balancing out the seriousness of the subject matter and also having some levity and some comedic moments. But at times, this film, Queen and Slim, would have a serious moment, then we go comedian, this person has a joke, this person has a joke, and it kind of took away from the seriousness of the previous scene. That was just one of my biggest issues with the film, which was the tonal shifts didn't feel consistent for me personally. But overall thoughts, the chemistry in this movie was unreal. It was beautiful, heartwarming. It has an incredible, serious subject matter and tragedy throughout the film, but it is told beautifully by this director, and the performances were great. Again, Daniel Kaluuya, one of the best in Hollywood. I can't wait to see his career continue to grow, but I am so excited to see Jodie's career because I thought she was phenomenal. Again, the acting, the performances, the writing, directing was pretty solid across the board. More pros than cons. I'm going to give this film a solid 4 out of 5 with the caveat of it going up when I see it again, because I went to the film expecting them to touch on subject matters a little bit more in depth, but when they mixed in that comedy, it kind of took me out of those scenes. But I'm expecting that score to go up when I see it a second time. But 4 out of 5, I definitely recommend you all checking out this Friday, November 27th. And when you do, come back and let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Like this video and share this video as well. Subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos. I will be checking out Knives Out tonight. I'm pre-recording this video over the weekend, so I'm going to have my Knives Out video out tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. Check out all my reviews for TV like Watchmen, The Mandalorian, Apple TV Plus, Castle Rock, and all of my other reviews on my channel that are available today to watch now. Follow me on Instagram. Thank you all for watching this review, and we'll see you on the next video.